Hello, I'm attorney Lewis Haskell in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire, and this is Legal Corner. I had a client come to see me this week who I haven't seen in well over 20 years, and it brought back a happy memory. I'd represented her and a couple of friends of hers, probably more like 25 years ago. She had been in a car accident and had the great misfortune of going to another attorney. It was a hit and run, and the other attorney had told the three of them that they could not recover any money, and he turned down their case after probably about a year. In any event, they came to see me. I guess the reason I remember this case so well is there were three of them. I got $50,000 for one of them. That was the policy limit. And I believe the other two split the other 50 or came pretty close. And I just always remember getting a policy limit on a case that another lawyer said could not recover. And a lot of people believe that in a hit and run, you cannot get money, but that's not true. In Massachusetts, you have a compulsory coverage on your automobile insurance, compulsory meaning you must buy it, called uninsured motorist coverage. And in Massachusetts, the minimum amount of uninsured motorist coverage is $20,000 per person and $40,000 per accident. That $40,000 per accident limit would have come in to play in this case where there were three people. The three of them combined could not get more than $40,000. Fortunately, in this particular case, there was optional uninsured motorists, and so it was a 50-100. So as I say, I was able to get 50 for one of them. I'm not sure if the other two got the entire 50 or something very close to it, but all three of them had very nice settlements. An uninsured motorist pays when there's a hit and run and you can't identify the other car. Uninsured motorist pays if the other car is uninsured, and of course, practicing in Lowell, that happens a lot because people come down from New Hampshire uninsured all the time and get into accidents in and around Lowell. By the way, people in New Hampshire are required to have car insurance, but the Registry of Motor Vehicles in New Hampshire does not enforce it like the registry does in Massachusetts. So a lot of people get away with being uninsured. There is almost always uninsured motorist coverage available in a Massachusetts accident. However, the rules for which uninsured policy covers are a little bit counterintuitive. Most people believe that it's simply the insurance for the car that they're in, but that's not necessarily true. You insure yourself for uninsured motorist coverage. So for example, if you're in my car and we get into an accident and we're hit by a hit and run driver, it's not my insurance that covers you, it's your insurance that covers you. Similarly, if I'm in your car, my insurance covers me, not yours. If the person does not own a car, they would be covered by a household member's uninsured motorist coverage. The idea here is children. They live with their parents, they don't have cars, and parents' insurance would cover them. That's the idea, I think. However, the practice is you are insured by any household policy. A household member is someone with whom you live and to whom you're related by blood or marriage or adoption. Now, one thing I tell clients when I tell them that they have to make a claim against, and sometimes it's like a brother's policy or a cousin's policy or even their parents' policy, is that it does not cause premiums to go up. I want to emphasize this on all uninsured motorist claims. Making an uninsured motorist claim never causes insurance premiums to go up. In Massachusetts, that only occurs if you're more than 50% at fault for the accident. And if you're making an uninsured motorist claim, you're obviously not more than 50% at fault. If you have no insurance, and if no one you live with and to whom you're related by blood, marriage, or adoption has insurance, then and only then do you make a claim against the uninsured motorist policy for the car that you were in. So as you see, you have to spin a pretty wild series of scenarios to avoid there being any uninsured motorist coverage, unless I suppose you're in your own uninsured vehicle. If you're involved in a hit and run, fear not. There's always insurance coverage, or almost always insurance coverage for you. However, I would urge you in that situation, number one, to call the police, because a good police report will help to prove that it was an uninsured motorist claim, and take as many pictures as you can at the scene, just so that we can see that there really was an accident, because sometimes the insurance companies try to kick up a lot of dust on that. I remember once I had a very interesting case. My client was hit by a hit-and-run driver, and the insurance company was adamant that this accident never happened. Fortunately, my client had called the police, and we actually had to file a lawsuit on this case against the insurance company. We deposed the police officer who was adamant that this accident occurred, and when asked why he was so adamant, he explained about the debris field. The car had rear-ended my client, broke my client's taillight, and all the shattered pieces from my client's broken taillight were on the ground, right where they belonged. And the police officer, who, by the way, had once upon a time been an accident reconstructionist, saw it all. He measured everything, he looked at everything, saw it all, and there was no way that this insurance company was ever going to be able to beat this police officer on whether or not this hit and run accident had occurred. So as I say, if you're involved in a hit and run, fear not, document everything that you can, and I would say come in and see a lawyer, ideally me, but personal injury lawyer, as soon as possible.